Hello and welcome to the Red Couch Podcast. I'm your host, Ben Harrietha. This week on the podcast, it's another edition of Reporter Rants. This issue is our fashion issue, so to discuss some of the stories and work that went into putting this issue together, I have Interrobang reporter Emma Butler on her debut appearance. Emma, welcome to the podcast. Yeah, this is the second time we're recording this. Forgot to hit record. That's my bad. So could you just introduce yourself for the listeners who don't know who you are?
Yeah, so I'm Emma Butler. I'm a reporter for the Interrobang newspaper. I'm actually just finishing up my last year here at Fanshawe with TV, film, broadcast production. So yeah, I'm loving it.
And yeah, perfect. So like, how's it been? What's new and exciting and all that?
Well, so in our program, we do internships at the end, and I went to Montreal to do global news.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And then I ended up having to come home due to health issues. I needed to be by my doctor. So it was kind of upsetting because I really loved it and it was exactly what I wanted to do. But now I'm back here, which is great because now I can still report for you guys for the paper. Love it.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah, and then I'm just working, speaking of fashion, I'm now interning with the fashion program to help produce their fashion show in April. So yeah.
I believe, I'm actually writing a story on that fashion show. I was just writing it before you came in and we started to record, and it's called Loving Local, I think is the name. Yeah, it's a cool little show. Like, I talked to I think her name was Linda Jenkin.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I talked to her about it this morning, and it seems really, really wicked.
Oh, very, like how they incorporate like thrifted clothes, like the clothes that were out on the shelves and then didn't get loved. Now they're like repurposing them and whatnot. So I'm like, this is great.
No, it's really cool how all like the fashion design and the fashion management program, a lot of their shows really do focus on like sustainability. I think that's like really, really cool. How like, what was it with the story? They went out and they picked thrifted pieces, curated collection of thrifted pieces. And then all of the looks that we saw on the runway were also thrifted pieces. And now with this one, they're doing work with, I think it's Share the Worth is the name. Yep. Of the place, and it's run by Goodwill Industries. And essentially what they do is they take old garments and they either fix them up, or they essentially break them down into materials and make other garments out of them.
Yeah, I was just there the other day.
Oh yeah,
at their headquarters on, I forget what road it is, but at the big Goodwill place, and it was really cool to see their sewing room and like all the stuff that they get, like blankets, big jackets, a lot of denim, and then how they make it into their own and then put it back out.
Well, yeah, because especially a lot of those materials, especially stuff like denim, like if you have a really nice quality like denim, it's gonna last ages.
Oh yeah, for sure.
My mom's got a jacket that she bought in the 80s that she still rocks every once in a while, but it's just like but because it was like a Levi's jacket, just that hardcore denim.
It's not going anywhere.
No, it's not going anywhere. Like, so it's good that we're not just tossing these pieces out into the landfill, and then we're able to essentially give like a second life to these.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like a lot. Like, we're in 2023. Like, we don't need to be making new things. That's why I love like thrifting, and there's so much stuff out there already that we don't need to make new stuff. Like, repurpose it, reduce it, reuse it. So I love this. It's great.
Totally. I think a lot of most of the clothes I've bought in like the past like couple of years have just been thrifted, because it's
pants are thrifted. This is thrifted. I want my outfits always thrifted.
I think the t-shirt I'm wearing underneath this is thrifted. But it's just like I don't know. It's like so much stuff you can find at thrift stores is still really good quality. And it's really well priced depending on where you go. If you go to some of the upper end ones where they got like some cooler,
they're
nicer stuff, they're gonna get high priced. But if you're just going to like Value Village or like Goodwill or something, we can sound a little bit more boutique fancy. If you go to like one of those, you could still get some like pretty nice basic stuff. Like I get jeans.
Oh yeah, most of my closet is probably like 85% thrifted.
Yeah. I always tell people, I'm like, go get pants and jeans because they're already like broken in.
Yeah, and they're not like 50 to like $80 at like a normal store. It's like, that's ridiculous. Like I can't go shopping now and see like a shirt for $20 and be like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Well, it's like, yeah, because even at like the cheap fast fashion stores, it's like a t-shirt is still like $20.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Like back in high school, I used to shop at Blue Notes all the time because it was cheap. And, you know, you could afford that on like part-time student wage, right? So it's like, oh, I want to get some new clothes that fit my wardrobe. But then now I go and it's like if I just want to get a t-shirt, it's like, yeah, it's like
It's $20.
It's $20 and they have lame t-shirts now. That suck.
Like, no.
So it's like, I don't know, I go thrifting. At least I can find some funny stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I found a shirt. It was like obviously homemade. It basically looked like they just spray painted on it. It just said, "I love my girlfriend." On
That's cute.
And I was like, it was $1, and I was like, well, I gotta buy that.
That's funny.
So, but it's like, yeah, thrifting is just like so cool. Some of my favorite clothes.
And it's now like the fab. It's like everyone's doing it now. So it's like, that's good because I've been thrifting forever. Before it was cool.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, it's the new trend to like go thrifting, find all these outfits. It's like, honestly, it's better for the environment. So go for it.
No, totally. And like, I think another side of thrifting that people aren't like focusing in on is like appliances.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I have a kick-ass blender from Value Village for like $10. Right. Because my blender broke and I didn't want to, it was like to get a new blender, it was going to cost me like, even like a cheap one was going to cost me $50.
Yeah. And it would probably end up breaking within a year.
Oh my God, yeah.
Why not thrift it?
So it's like I was at the gym and in the gym I go to, there's a Value Village just like down the street from it.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'll pop in and see what they got. And I found this blender for $10. I've had it for like 6 months.
Oh,
Tim's a champ.
Love it.
And the best part about it is I'm like, okay, if this breaks, I'm not really that upset.
No.
Because it only cost me $10.
Legit.
So I love thrifting. Thrifting is like the best.
Honestly, yeah. Like furniture, clothes, anything really. It's not a bad place to be.
Yeah. It's really cool. They have like the fashion marketing and the fashion design. They're like
going with that route.
Yeah. So what do you have coming up in this issue? I think it's an Unbound fashion show preview. Was that it?
Yes. So I've chatted with a couple people who are dealing with that, which obviously is great. We also, for the cover of the newspaper, is a photo that I took of a couple of the models and their outfits that they created, which I thought was really cool because I think it's like the first actual photo we've had for the newspaper. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. My name's on it.
It's pretty wicked, right? Yeah, because all of our covers for the paper are usually either just graphic design or a drawing by one of our talented artists on staff. But like, very cool to be like the first issue that we have that's like a photo. It's your photo, and it's a cool photo.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, this some blasting ever.
Yeah. How'd the shoot go? Because it was pretty short notice.
It was. So I like brought all my gear. I had like lights and whatever, and then I showed up, and luckily, Hannah actually got a hold of some photography students. So they helped me out a lot because like they had all their lighting equipment already set up, which was awesome. And then they had all these cool gadgets. I had, I forget what it's called, but when you take a picture, it will like make all the lights like flash with it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, cool. Like I was thinking like with my little equipment, I'm like, it probably won't be that good, but it turned out really well. There was a lot of people there helping and giving input and whatnot. So I honestly thought it went way smoother and better than what I intentionally thought it was gonna go. Mm-hmm. So I was completely happy with the outcome.
Hell yeah! How long did the shoot take? Like you guys?
Less than an hour. I felt like
nice.
Yeah, it was just getting set up quick, and unfortunately the some of the equipment needed to be returned by like I forget what time it was actually, like 8. Yeah, because we were there at 7. So we had to like quickly, we were trying to like put the models in a different position. Yeah. But then all of a sudden we're like, okay, actually I don't really like how this is looking. So like, let's quickly switch it back. So we switched it back and then we took a couple more shots and then it was like, okay, that's it.
It's stressful working under like a time piece.
Yes.
I was recently in my buddy's like a film, he's in film program or whatever.
Right.
At one of the universities, I think it's at U Windsor, and he was up here shooting something, and he needed just extras and actors, so I went and helped him out. But we only had one of the actors for like an hour.
Right. So you're like, hey, whatever we need, shot with them.
Yeah, and it's like he only had so many lines, but it's like, think about how long just setting up one shot would take. So it's like
Very
stressful.
Very, very, very. But then you feel so relieved and like good about yourself when you see the outcome. If it turned out good.
It did turn out pretty good. It was like pretty funny. Like just watching the outcome. But like, yeah, I was so exhausted.
Oh yeah, it gets you.
So
yeah, because like I'm in TV and film. So the first year we actually had to do both TV and film. So I made a couple films myself, and it's a very stressful, hectic, however long your shoot is. It's hell. And then after, you can just sit back and you're like, okay, like take a moment, appreciate it. But while you're doing it, it's so bad. Yeah, it's so stressed.
It definitely doesn't help that like most of the actors were just like my buddy's friends,
goofing up and whatnot.
Yeah. it was a great fun set and a really fun experience. But like, it was definitely like, we had my buddy who was in the film and also directing it at the same time, and then we had another person who was doing all the camera work, and then like the rest of us were just like, that's our one buddy, and then like, here's the other guy, here's the director's sister in one of the roles, like, and everyone was great, don't get me wrong, but it definitely was like, oh man, we're doing so much stuff,
right?
And I'm like, I've never been on a film set before. I've been in front of a camera like maybe 4 times at this point.
Yeah, like I'm not used to being in front, maybe behind and then runner, but no. Oh, I get that.
And the weirdest part was definitely learning how to not stare at the camera.
Yes.
Because like with journalism, you're telling to look at the camera. Yeah. Because you're talking to the viewer. So like when I had to deliver my lines, they're like, yeah, you need to stop looking at
like look over here.
They're like, look over here. And I was like, oh, that's so weird. So like we had to do a lot of the scenes I was in, like a bunch.
Oh yeah. Read.
Because I kept looking at the camera.
I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, they're like, stop looking at the camera. And I was like, I can't help it.
And I'm a journalist, I'm like used to this.
I gotta look directly at it.
Looking through it to the viewer. But no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So how is film and television broadcast, like, how's that going? Like,
honestly, first year was like hectic in the sense that like you're both putting your foot in film and then you're doing TV shows. So like you'd have a couple films and then you may be helping out with other films. So it was really stressful, and especially being a first year, you're like, I don't really know what I'm doing. But luckily, I've taken journalism a couple years ago, so I have some skills and whatnot that I didn't feel super overwhelmed going into the program. But definitely second year, we branch out. Most of everyone goes to the film side. Like we only have one TV section with like 17 kids in it because everyone's like film.
Yeah.
But it's going good. Honestly, comparing my two like diplomas or whatnot, like journalism and this program, I would have to say I did like journalism better. It's like you were out reporting and doing stuff, where this isn't so much that you're like learning behind like what's in the control room and like working behind the camera more, which I didn't need. So I have more skill and experience and whatnot.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a good program. I definitely feel like they're very more film based.
Yeah.
Instead of TV, but the teachers were great. Like everyone that I've met's been awesome. And if I didn't come here, then I wouldn't have been with Interrobang. So
hey, yeah.
I'm glad.
So did you take journalism at Fanshawe as well?
No, actually, I was down in Windsor, and that was back in like 2016.
You from Windsor?
No, I'm from like Grand Bend, Exeter, like 45 minutes north from London.
Okay, yeah.
And then I just decided to go to Windsor for the journalism program.
Okay.
So I was there for a couple of years.
So St. Clair?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then met a boyfriend, so then I ended up staying there for a bit. And then I was like, no, I'm going to come back. And then I was going to take this program a couple of years, but then COVID hit.
Yes.
So I was like, hey, I'm not going to go, because I'm like, when I went to school down in St. Clair, that was when the strike happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we were like the guinea pig class. We're like finding out how to cram the whole first semester in like a month or two, because we missed out on so much. So going on to COVID, I was like, I don't want to be that again, where like they're trying to figure out like, are we online? Are we doing this? So I took another year off, and then it came. So.
Yeah. part of me wishes I had taken a year off because I did all of my schooling during COVID. I did 1 year of computer science here at Fanshawe, and then I was actually going to go to journalism at St. Clair.
Okay.
Because I'm from Windsor.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, I'll move back home and I'll do journalism there, save some money, don't have to pay rent. But the program shut down for COVID.
Oh, yeah. So you could see that. So you're like,
Yeah, it was basically right when I went to go apply. They were like, yeah, it's not running while the pandemic's on.
that's hard.
So I was like, I guess, I'm already in London. I guess I'll go
Just
here.
keep going. Yeah. Used to the college makes sense, but it also didn't. But COVID really put a damper on everyone.
Oh, literally everyone's plans. I had like a 5-year plan laid out, and then COVID hit. And then after COVID, I was like,
Just go.
that's exactly, yeah, what's the point of having a 5-year plan if everything's just going to go up in flames? Like, legit. So it's just like, I'm just going to do stuff and see what happens, So get a diploma and get a job and hope from there that it's going to go good.
For sure.
So, like, what made you decide that, like, journalism and TV production was, like, the move?
So when I was in high school, I was kind of like a rebel child, as my family would call me, the black sheep, whatever. So I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to travel. And like, I loved photography and capturing things. And all throughout high school, if we had the option to like make a project, I would always do the project, and it would always be some sort of like film. I don't know why. So like, I forget who and when I decided, I was like, journalism, that sounds fun. I would love that. And yeah, now it's just been history. I'm involved. I've written for like a Stratford local paper, then that COVID shut it down, so it doesn't exist anymore because,
Of course.
yeah, so there's that. But yeah, I love it.
That's awesome.
That's why I was loving it at Global, because I was literally in it. Like I was shadowing a reporter. We were out on the streets. It was great, but life sucks sometimes. So you just gotta,
Yeah. Global's such a great place to work. Everyone I know who has worked at Global or interned at Global has been like, it's the best.
It is.
And I'd love to get a position at Global.
Okay, if the only issue was being in Montreal, there was a lot of issues with me being from Ontario and
Yes.
some people who are very rude.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it's very bad over there. Like, it's like a culture shock for sure. But if they see my Ontario license plate, like I got stuff thrown at my car. I got yelled at. And
It's like, it's Montreal. It's like you're right on the border. You're like barely Quebec.
Canada, like we're all lovely people.
Yeah.
We're all supposed to be. But honestly, out of all provinces, I would have to say that one is not so nice. People there.
I've heard that actually about a lot of that. I've heard that from a lot of people who go to Quebec, especially people who can't speak French. Can you speak French?
I can speak French a bit, but like it's very rusty. So like, not as well as probably the people there would want.
Yeah. They just don't have a lot of patience for people who are either bad at speaking French or don't speak French.
Yeah, and I get in Quebec, like that's fair, but in Montreal, like that's actually where like a lot of English-speaking people live. So you'd think that they'd be more lenient and like nice and considerate, but no.
Yeah.
Not saying everyone, but like for the little time I was there, it was more ruthless people.
Well, especially in Montreal, because it's like, it's the biggest city in the province.
Yeah.
But it's like, Montreal is literally right across the river from Ottawa in Ontario. So it's like, you gotta at some point expect that people with Ontario license plates and people with the Ontario driver's license and people who speak English are gonna be coming into the province. So it's like being rude to them is just weird.
Yeah, and the whole time I was there, I didn't see another like Ontario plate.
No,
I was so weirded out by that because being in Ontario, like you see plates from everywhere, but like there, I didn't see a single one. I'm like, this is weird. This is very weird.
Yeah. Well, at least it's a very beautiful city.
Oh, it is very condensed, like very, very condensed. A lot of graffiti, which I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Graffiti everywhere.
Yeah.
Like on anything. I'm like, holy crap, this is a lot.
Yeah.
The roads there suck. And especially because in the winter, like you can't really see like the lines and stuff.
Yeah.
But people just drive wherever.
Oh wow.
So like me driving, I'm like, oh my gosh, and they don't turn on red lights, like they don't turn right.
Oh,
Yeah. And then I was talking to like Dan, who's the reporter, and he was like, honestly, it's because we're stupid. He's like, honestly, like they've tried passing the law like to turn right, and the people literally have said no because they are stupid. Like they're bad drivers. I'm not saying that, but like Dan, who's been there, and I'm like, honestly, that's legit why we haven't passed the law.
that's funny as
I'm like, oh no. So it took driving, like, I was literally living 6 kilometers away from Global, but it would take me like 25 minutes
oh wow.
to get there because one, it's like 40, like you can only go 40 in the city,
Yeah.
and you can't turn right on red lights. So every time you hit a red light, everyone stops.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So coming back into Ontario, I felt so relieved. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah. I think because I don't like London traffic as it is. London traffic's like rough, but I think I'd actually like
Oh my
have a heart attack
Yes.
in Montreal traffic for what you told.
I now, like, when I'm in London, I'm like, okay, just, it's not as bad as it's worse. Oh yeah. And the roads, like, they're pothole, like they need to do the roads.
Yeah.
Like once I pass back into Ontario, like their highways compared to our highways, I'm like, oh wow, it's smooth. Like,
Well, it's like it's like the 401 gets like a bad rap, but it's like you get into some of the more less populated provinces, and it's like, wow,
yeah.
like
But it is a beautiful place. Like it's one of the oldest cities. So it's very, very pretty. Like all the old buildings and the old hospital there. It was kind of creepy, but I like abandoned places, and so I really liked it. It was really nice. If I was ever to go back, it would be to visit a friend or just
not live there.
no. I couldn't live there, and that was bad.
Yeah. And it's so interesting, like the way, like, because you said like Montreal is like very condensed, whereas like I think like Ottawa is it's a big city, but it's a very stretched out city.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to have those two right beside each other.
Yeah, and like going downtown, like it's like going to Toronto. Like there's skyscrapers and whatnot, but it's so tiny. Like you just feel like an ant in like an ant maze because it's so compact. So many people walking everywhere. It's honestly better to walk or like take the metro or bike than drive because the roads are just tiny, and the snow doesn't help because it's so condensed and the pile like. Yeah, winter in Montreal is not. It's pretty, but if you're living there trying to get around, it's not fun.
I've heard it's cold also.
Very cold.
Yeah, very cold. Less.
Yes, it's Canada, like, but compared to our southern Ontario, it's a lot colder.
That's what I've heard is that, like, southern Ontario and especially London gets really hammered with cold weather.
Yeah.
Especially coming from Windsor, because Windsor we have pretty mild.
Oh, it's very wet in Windsor.
Very. It's a lot of rain and slush. Floods.
Oh yeah.
Literally, when I moved to Windsor, in like grade 10, a week later we had a flood. Yeah. Luckily, our house was like the previous owners had put money into flood prevention and everything, but like 4 people on our street flooded. But it was just like it's so when because I've gone up north and up to like Ottawa and stuff in the winter before, it's cold,
very, very cold. Very different from our area. We get a wet cold, they get dry cold. That makes sense.
And dry cold is just so brutal. So anyways, back to journalism for a quick second. So how's your experience been so far with like being a journalist and just doing all that stuff?
Honestly, great. And the one thing I would say to people who want to like look into this or who are maybe just haven't been getting a good start is definitely like connections is your way to go about jobs, sources, whatever. Is the more people you know and the more people you've chatted with and didn't burn bridges with, honestly it gets you so much further than just being very close-minded and try to do everything by yourself, if that makes sense.
Obviously being good at what you do is going to help you do that, but it is, but also like knowing the proper people, like having good references is like so killer.
Honestly, in this field, that's like the number one thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like I'm like 99% sure that the reason I work at Interrobang right now is because I had some pretty good references.
Right.
So, is there any specific place you want to go work at?
This is like kind of taking it back, like a back step from like news journalism and whatnot. My like dream goal would be to be like a videographer for National Geographic.
That'd be like the coolest thing ever.
Right. That's always been in my head to do that. I travel and just take really good video, like nature and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then another like dream goal is to like eventually be like an anchor on like a like maybe not CTV, but like some sort of news.
Yeah, some sort of big.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that is like the dream goal, I think, for is to get to make it.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with like just getting like even being like an anchor or I because I did broadcast, I'm a little bit more, I'd like to be a radio news anchor as opposed to like a TV
on the screen type.
Yeah, I'm not super into being on screen even on camera, but even getting like in at like a smaller market, but like someplace that I can be like, this is mine.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
that'd be super, super cool. But now that you said videographer for National Geographic, I'm like, God, that would be the coolest thing ever.
It'd be so nice.
I'm like, why can't I do that?
That's right. I'm like, I don't know how to even start applying for that or who to talk to. Like, I definitely know I need to get more equipment. Thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
Oh my God. I've been looking and getting into my own, like getting my own camera so that I can go and take photos. And it's like, it's ridiculous. It's like the cheapest camera that I was looking at was like $500.
Oh, man.
And lenses on top of that are hundreds of dollars more.
Yeah. I was really like, I have my own camera and whatnot, like all my photo stuff. But I was like, I really want like my own video camera so I can like be an actual freelance. Like, yes, I have freelance like photography and writing because you take your own photos or whatnot, but like looking for like a Sony like AC160, it's like our like what we use in our program.
Yeah,
those can range from like 2,000 to 5,000.
Yeah,
holy crap! Like, this is gonna have to take out a loan just to get to go.
Brandon, our videographer, he's the one who shoots the video podcast.
Yeah.
He uses a Black Magic for all of his stuff.
Right.
And he's got me on the Black Magic train. Those things are so good.
There's just so much out there too that it's like wrapping your brain around it all. Like I'm not a very techie person.
Yeah.
But I'm like with the program and like what I want to do, like you have to keep going.
Yeah.
Or you're just gonna get lost in the mix, you know? Like,
no, you got to keep up with everything. It's really tough.
It is, because there's just so much new technology for our type of field that it's like, holy crap! Like I don't know which is the best or what I should use.
Yeah, I'm at least lucky. My area of expertise is like microphones and stuff, and microphones have not changed since the 70s.
For sure,
they are like the same. Like Shure sells the same mics.
Right.
That they did back then, and they're the exact same microphones that just work.
Yeah. Nothing better that they can, like, they're it.
That's literally it. It's like they did it once perfectly the first time, so we're just going to keep it that way.
Legit.
So before we wrap up, we're just going to do some quick lightning round questions. We've been doing this thanks to Justin. Me introduced this, and it's very fun. So we're going to start off. Favorite food?
I would have to say like chicken and rice. That is so plain. But like if I can eat it, that's the only thing I'd eat for the rest of my life.
I'm gonna be honest, I eat chicken and rice all the time. Yeah. It's so good.
So good.
It's just delicious.
Oh yeah.
Sweet, savory, or salty?
Sweet.
New music you've been listening to right now?
Like Lana Del Rey, I've always been listening to, but I'm in a Lana Del Rey fix right now, so I'd say that.
That's fair. I'm in a Paramore fix right now.
Okay.
We got with the release of the new album, I've been going back and listening.
I might check that out though.
Yeah. Favorite band of all time or musician of all time?
Don't make fun of me. Nickelback.
Oh, that's a good thing though.
You're so funny.
Yeah.
I've been to 5 concerts, and my me, my mom, and my sister, like we're obsessed. Yeah. We're going to another concert in August.
I think. Oh no, my roommate is going to one, but she's going to one in June, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Do you dance?
Not really.
No. Mountains or beaches?
Beaches. I was a beach bum when I was living in Grand Bend, so I'd have to say beaches.
Beaches are great.
Yeah.
Beaches. Do you cook?
rarely, but I can.
Yeah.
I can make a mean
Meal. Do you have a favorite meal to make?
It would be probably salmon, roasted Brussels sprouts, and rice.
That's a really, really fancy meal. I'm just,
It sounds fancy, but it was like one of the easy meals that I made.
yeah. I think it's just for me because I don't cook fish because I'm very bad at cooking fish.
I only cook salmon, and it's only enough. Like I don't cook any other fish. Another fish.
Every time I've tried to cook fish, I've messed it up. So
you're like,
just avoid now. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
$1,000. What are you buying?
A plane ticket somewhere warm.
Nice. Silliest thing you owned?
Oh, I have fish like not slippers, but they're like slippers, but they're hard because like it's like a bass.
Oh, are they like the ones that like it looks like the fish is swallowing your?
Yes.
Oh, those are so funny. I want a pair of those. Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh, for sure.
And finally, favorite story you've written for the Interrobang?
It would have to be, I think I wrote one about our winter, like the weird winter. It was about like global warming and whatnot. So
That was a really good one.
I like that one.
Yeah, I really like that one because it was like, just the title kind of thinks like it just feels like it might be like, oh, another one of those. Oh, it's just winter's been weird, hasn't it? But you went into like the climate change aspect of it, and
I feel like with our winters, like back when we were kids, like you would remember big snowstorms of like the snowbanks are like up to here. And
yeah,
now we've been having ones where it's like, oh yeah, there was one or two storms, but like green, like grass, like it's 10 degrees, and then it's like -10.
yeah. It's like instead of getting all the snow in like November, December, and January, we're getting slammed at like end of February, March.
So I just feel like more and more people are aware of it because it's like what's going on. And I've always been like a green thumb. So,
Yeah.
like I like that one.
No, it's a very good story. I really like that one. And that's all we had. So thank you for coming on.
No, I guess I love this.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. And thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Red Couch Podcast. As always, you can catch up with every episode on our website or wherever you get your podcasts. Pick up your copy of Interrobang on newsstands now. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And be sure to subscribe to our newsletter to keep up with all things Fanshawe. For the Interrobang, I'm Ben Harrietha.